bring the right ear to the right shoulder. And holding it there, just gently nod the head yes, finding that nice stretch all throughout the left side of the neck. Once you find the place in the left side that's the tightest, go ahead and hold there. Take a big breath in through the nose. Let it go audibly through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale, chin back to the chest, left ear to left shoulder. Same thing on that side. So just nodding the head, finding the stretch in the right side of the neck. Looking for that space that wants to hold the most. And then pause there. Take a big breath in. Let it go. One more breath in. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, lift the gaze up, tabletop, fingers spread wide, big toes together, knees wide. Just a few rounds of cat-cow here, so opening up the spine. Inhale to lift the gaze up, lower the belly. Exhale to round through the spine, really push the breath, the earth away from you with the palms. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to fold in. As you round through the spine, really feel that navel pulling in and up to the spine. Just a few more rounds, but so beginning to notice what it feels like to push the mat away from you through the hands. So we're gonna use that same activation with the forearms when we're in our headstand. Are you hearing me okay, Sadie?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do just 3 more rounds of that. Maybe pausing momentarily with the back rounded and just really notice what it feels like to have the navel pulled in and up as you're pushing the earth away from you with the palms. Next time your back is rounded, hold that. Shift the hips back so that they're about 6 inches over the feet. Actively pull the front of the mat back, almost like you're pulling the mat towards the knees, keeping the chin tucked in towards the chest, keeping the back rounded. So you'll feel a deeper stretch towards the upper back and into the neck, and into that space where the underarm connects to the upper ribs. Do you feel that, Sadie?
Mm-hmm.
Good. We really want to stretch that part because we're going to be working that part in our headstand. So take one more full breath there. And then inhale, rise back up. Last thing, stretching through our hands just in case we decide to do 1 or 2 with supporting ourselves with our wrist. So we'll have our fingertips facing towards us, palms on the ground. You can lift up onto the toes if you'd like a little deeper stretch through the soles of the feet. And just wrap front and back. So you're stretching I guess it'd be the backs of the wrists and the forearms. And then rock side to side so that you're getting into the pinky and the thumb sides of the wrist. You might even play with drawing circles. So kind of play with exploring here, exploring all the little crevices around the wrist and the forearms. And if you choose to draw those circles, then begin to make your way in the other direction. Good. And then lift up, go ahead and shake the hands out a little bit, shaking side to side, and then shake front to back, almost like you're a little bird flapping its baby wings. And then we'll come to the other side, so stretching the front of the forearm. So same thing, fingertips pointing towards you, but this time on the tops of the hands. Being mindful not to go too far. So you're getting that stretch, but not overstretching. And then same thing, wrap front and back. And then side to side. Maybe noticing that each new round of breath lets you put just a little bit more pressure on those wrists.
What I'm really noticing is how dirty my floor is.
Well, that happens too. And then once again, shake the arms out. And because we're going to be into the forearms, we're going to do one more thing. So just sit up on your feet and or your heels, whatever way makes sense. Bring the right arm behind you so that the right hand is on the top of the back. Just stretching that tricep. So left hand guides the elbow back. And then on the inhale, lengthen through the spine. On the exhale, fold over to the left. So stretching the whole right side of the body. Take one more full round of breath into that space. And then inhale, lift up, release, and go to the other side. So all of these warm-ups that we just did are beginning to activate and gently stretch the muscles that we're looking to use in this forearm supported headstand. To be honest, I don't know the correct yoga word for that type of headstand. But the whole point in doing it that way is that it relieves so much pressure from the neck and head and really allows us to use the muscles that surround our shoulders. So we'll come into it. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
All right, so in the same way that we practiced last time, we're going to practice this time. So what we're focusing on is, I guess, mainly two feelings in the core. One is that feeling of having the thighs pulling in towards each other. And then the other is that feeling of having the navel pulling in and up. So those are our bandhas that we're using, our energy centers that really help us hone in, pull all the energy into our center, into our midline. So I'm going to demonstrate where I'm going to have you going, and we're just, remember, step by step. So really, really slow movement so that you can just begin to feel. So we're going to start by making kind of a V with our forearms, clasping the hands just big enough so that the crown of the head can fit right in between, right about the place where the hairline begins to, right around where the hairline starts. And then we'll lift our hips up, finding just a dolphin pose, supporting the rest of our crown of the head with the palms, keeping the elbows tied in towards each other, and then eventually walking the toes closer and closer towards the elbows. From here, just find stillness. And I just want you to take 5 breaths there in the dolphin. Not lifting a leg up, just staying there and just noticing what it feels like to really push the ground away from you with the forearms. Yeah, just like that. Noticing that the head shouldn't feel too much pressure. Really, you should feel no pressure in the back of the neck. What's happening? What do you feel?
Since I was trying to do it more on my forehead, previously I was rounding more onto the crown of my head and causing some issues. And you just mentioned your palms supporting your forehead.
Yeah.
So for anyone watching this video, I'm taking my rings off because I just felt it pressing into my...
Yeah, I never wear my rings in these headstands. Yeah, they always, especially when you have your fingers clasped.
Yeah. Pro tip.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that.
Don't apologize. No, this is just for fun.
Too close to the wall.
Exactly. Now, for the next 3 breaths, begin to draw the belly in towards the spine. Notice that as you draw it in, maybe there's space to walk the feet closer towards the elbow. So really working the hips so that they're all the way over the shoulders. Breathing in and out of the nose, just one more. Good, and then find a rest, maybe child's pose or just a seat. Did you notice that the muscles around your shoulders were working a little bit more?
I think so.
As you're really pushing the ground away with the forearms?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so in the past, when you were getting into that, you would really just quickly kick your feet up. And that happens a lot. I still have a tendency to do that in my handstands. But when we do that, that's when we're afraid that we're just going to fly back. And that's why we need the wall to support us. But when you can learn to use the muscles around your shoulders and your core, then you can easily just shift up like so. So I'll demonstrate what we're getting at in all of this. So ideally, we're here, 1 foot lifts, and then that other foot can slowly lift up.
Mine looks exactly like that.
And then maybe you can play with tapping one toe.
That's awesome.
And then the other. Okay, but it's all about that slow, steady motion. So let's do it again. So same thing. Getting your way into that, what are we calling it? The
Dolphin.
Dolphin. Thank you. So on each inhale, really think about lengthening the spine. So guiding the belly in a little bit more. There you go. Beautiful, Sadie. Now squeeze the thighs together. That is awesome. You're not even using the wall behind you.
Nope.
That is so beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
Now take a rest.
I was going to try to tap a toe.
Well, you almost did it. We'll get you to tap the toe next.
All right.
Take a little rest. What did it feel like around your core? Would you notice that you haven't?
Way more in my core. Previously, you're right, it definitely was just like, bam, I did it, I'm on the wall. And I was using my core to try and come off of the wall and balance it that way.
Yeah.
Which is probably what everyone does when they're just winging it on their own, but you're right. Being able to place your feet in the air is what you're teaching me to do, rather than
exactly.
propel.
So that said, what I'm going to have you do from here, you're still going to have the wall behind you, but I want you to move the mat away from the wall just a few, maybe 2 inches, so that you're really not even touching it with any part of the back of your head or your back. So it's there for you if you do happen to flip around, but so that you can begin to trust that you don't need it. So once again, same thing. So go ahead and set yourself up into that dolphin. Remembering to check out the elbows. So the elbows are really tight, forming around the head. So think about pulling the elbows in towards each other, almost like you're looking to squeeze the ears. Taking your time, noticing what it feels like to begin to guide the navel in towards the spine.
I think one thing that helps a lot when you're walking forward is to just come up onto your toes when you're drawing in.
Yes. Yeah, you're so right. And then lift one leg. Other leg follows. Yes, yes. Breathe in and out of the nose. Squeeze the thighs together. Keep pushing away from the ground with those forearms, so lifting up and out of the shoulder girdles. Take a breath in. Maybe the exhale allows you to slowly drop one leg to try to tap the toe. Slowly.
I'm not strong enough to come down with it.
That was so close though. That was so good. I'm so
Are
proud of you.
Are you, it didn't hurt or anything, but are you putting pressure on your pinkies when you're rolled forward?
So
Hands too far, does that make sense?
it does take, I usually do have to really, sometimes I usually do have to readjust my hands a little
Or
bit.
you're doing this? I'm just doing this.
No, completely clasp hands.
I haven't tried that.
So completely clasp like this. Let me do it one more time so that I can see more of what you're asking. So
I feel like my head is rolling onto my pinkies just a little bit.
look, my hands are like that. Can you see?
Uh-huh.
This part of my head is on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah. So meaning that's where it takes the pressure out of my head and therefore out of the shoulder or out of the neck. Yeah. So it's really supporting almost the back of the head.
You're not squishing your pinkies at all?
No, I'm not squishing my pinkies. My pinkies are
I think I have my hands too far forward.
on the crown of my head, but the part that really is putting no pressure into the ground. So really the most pressure is into the back of my head, which is all coming into my hands.
Okay.
You want to try it one more time?
Yeah.
So let me see. So go ahead and clasp your hands on the head. Let me see where you're going to bring them before you go to the ground.
I guess I'll change it.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Do it like a centimeter back. Let's see.
That feels weird.
I know. But that's about the part that is supporting. And you'll find from that, you'll find it easier to really lift the head up. So the hands are barely touching the ground. The head is barely into the hands. It's totally all in the shoulders and the core. And this is why practicing this type of headstand can eventually allow you to build up the strength to come into a full forearm stand, which I'm still working on myself. Nice.
Oh yeah, that's weird. Oh crap.
No talking. Focus, steady gaze. In and out of the nose. Navel to spine. Push away from the ground with the forearms lifting out of the shoulders. Maybe next exhale allows you to tap a toe. Or maybe open the legs in a straddle. There you go. You can go back up. You had it. Sometimes, 3 times is really, really the charm. You get it, like there's not so much more you can do after 3 times of the posture. Like there comes a point where you've pretty much maxed out.
That makes a big difference. I still feel like I touched my pinkies on the floor, but it was a lot less than.
Yeah, the pinkies touch the floor and they touch the head, but it shouldn't be
pushing them. Yeah, I was previously like between my forehead and the ground, squishing my pinkies.
Yeah, I see that. Well, do you have any questions about it?
No, I think I'm just gonna go work on my core strength and do another Peloton.
Awesome. Well, you did so good. I'm so happy for you.
Good teacher, Ev.
Okay, well, we're going to keep working on this together. And I think that the challenge posture class is going to be coming out sometime this week. Maybe it'll start next week, but I'm thinking of when we can do it. I have about a handful of people who are interested in it, so it's exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Thank you for anybody who's watching and who might be interested in the challenge posture course.